Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, dear friends, dear viewers. We will continue exploring, analyzing, studying games of Mikhail Tal. Let's go. Yes, we already analyzed more than 30 games, and in today's video, we really do have unbeaten streak uh, by Mikhail Tal. Let's go. First game for today's video, Tal is playing against Josip Rukavina with the black pieces. Knight f5, b3, d5. Yes, nowadays bishop b2, f6, and e3 uh, move are the main lines. c4, d4. Engine doesn't like c4 at all. Yes, it simply uh, transposes to knight f3, d5, c4, d4, and b3. g3, knight c6, d3, knight f6, e5, bishop e7. Engine does like h6, stopping bishop g5, knight bd2, b4, takes a3, a5, knight e1, bishop g4, knight c2, rook e1, and d4. So the idea is knight e4, there is b3, and now d3 comes. Bishop e2, knight g4, attacking the rook on a1, attacking the rook on e1. Yes, maybe not the best move, but in a way it's enough. Yes. A well played game by Tao. Of course, his opponent played very badly from the opening and then before, like really hard to explain. But back then, I assume players were aware of just sacrificing p pawn, trying to open up A and B files and getting some activity. Not something very complete, but generally. Of course, nowadays, even if you try to sacrifice and open up A and B files, you should know how to do it. Otherwise, you will not get any compensation. Okay, next game, Nadal is having white pieces against Rafael Paganian. No, but 15 moves. I assume it was a blitz game. d4, d5, knight d2. And here, of course, knight f6, c5, d takes c4, bishop e7 are the main moves. Yes, knight c6, knight f3, and knight f6, e5, knight d7, knight b3, f6, bishop b5, f takes c, d takes c, knight c5, knight g5, bishop d7, bishop c6. Wow, bishop c6 is the only move, and after knight c5, bishop c5, knight e6, white is much better. B takes c and check, and in f3. Yes, queen f7 Check is very unpleasant threat and not much ways to stop queen f7. And takes and check and queen f6. Yes. Dubna. Yes, of course, no need to say that huge opening blunder mistake by Rafael Baganyan. Somehow he didn't realize that bishop d7 and btec c ideas aren't working. And another game, long game against Duncan. How would you pronounce these totals? e4, e6, g3, d5, knight f6. Yes. Tau doesn't have any problems. Select better. Yes. White managed to equalize. And bishop c6. Yeah, rook e6, rook e6, king f1. With the ideas maybe to play rook e1. It looks much better already. King is coming to d5 maybe. Yes, c3 would have been better. And again, white doesn't have problems. Duncan was very close to make a draw. Even this should end in a draw. Yes, just a5. b6, a takes, king c6, just knight c1 and knight b3. Knight e7, yes, but why not knight e7, king b5, knight f5, king c4. And here he didn't see knight c8 and forcing opponent to go king c6 and then knight e7, forcing to play king b6, knight d5, and yes, and then knight d5. Okay, this, and now this is lost. Well, this is lost. Yes, interesting game. Of course, Stahl played in a very high level without much mistakes. Maybe some very slight inaccuracies, which is common for human. Yes, opponent also played, let's say, not trying to pose problems out of the opening, or let's say playing for something more than a draw. but he was playing very solid chess. Okay, another game with the black pieces against Gennady Kuzmin. And takes short castle. Yes, queen f6, bishop d6, knight e7, f6 are the moves. F6, d4, and here I am aware of he takes d and bishop g4. Yes, here d takes c, c3 are the moves. D takes c, queen d1, rook takes d1, f takes c, and here Gennady Kuzmin goes rook d3, bishop d6, knight bd2, knight f6, knight c4, knight takes, bishop e2, rook e3, bishop takes, knight g4, bishop c5, knight takes e4, h3. Yes, game ended in a draw. Of course, simply perfect game without any mistakes by both players. Yes, and also it was very interesting line. F6, d4, bishop g4, takes, and then f takes c. Maybe because they were close to each other and just decided to make a draw without much testing each other. Because somehow I don't see real fight in this game. Seems like uh, previous evening players had a very good time together and just decided um, to show it next day um, on score sheet. Let's go. Next game, Spassky with the white pieces against Tau. We see e6, d4 takes, this b6. Nowadays, this line is considered uh, very risky for black, and especially after g4. But at that time, players didn't have access to computers, and the 6 line looked quite playable. Bishop e2, bishop e7, short castle f4, and knight c6, bishop e3. Yes, e5 is another option. And this, queen e1, takes, e5, f takes, queen g3. Yes, here rook takes f6, g takes f, queen h4, rook g8. So this, knight g8, queen e7 was played. Rook a d1, h6, b6. 6 protecting the pawn on e5. Yes, bishop b7, rook d7 is coming. Maybe queen b4 was there. Takes, rook d8, c4, rook d5. He takes d, c takes d would have been better. And d4, queen f4, e3. Players agreed in a draw. No, I don't think it was like previous game was agreed before the game, or players uh, did not have desire to win, but not much fight again. Okay, another game against Yuri Averbach. Tal is having white pieces, and of course we can see that players played and tried. Yes, this, Rodri Lopez, and bishop e6 line. I remember in 2023, Kirill Alexyenko played this bishop e6 move against me, and later on in Sharjah Masters, I was very much attracted by this bishop e6 idea and wanted to play myself against Sankalp Gupta, but Sankalp played something else. Yes, takes, and rook e8, bishop g5, knight d7, d5, bishop g5, d takes c, bishop e3, d takes c, c takes d, d5, and now e5, knight f8. Nicely played by Averbach. Yes, f6 is also working. And white is slowly getting playable position and better position. Yes, knight takes e7, d5 maybe. f4, f5. Well, bishop c5 or bishop a5. And rook d7, queen d7, queen f6. Rook d7, queen g6, queen d5. It's rook d6. And here players agreed in a draw. Yes, of course, it was better, much better at some point for white. Tal didn't see or didn't play this rook d7 move, or he didn't like something, and slowly Yuri Averbach managed to neutralize the tension. Okay, another game against Bronstein with the white pieces. Well, even at that time, this knight f6 line was quite popular. But Petrosian, let's not forget that Petrosian played knight d7 instead of knight f6. And here bishop d6, yes, nowadays c3 and bishop d3 is the main line. Bishop c4, bishop d6. I am aware of bishop d6, this, and queen e2. This, bishop b3, bishop f4, long castle, b5, stopping c4. Yes, a5, black doesn't have problems. 91, 93, a5. Now bishop a5, stopping a5. Knight c5, takes. Bishop b3, queen d2, and now this is unpleasant. This is unpleasant position for Bronstein. Yes, maybe even rook d5 sacrifices can be possible. Attacking the pawn. This is already a very unpleasant position, despite it does look very drawish. a4, a takes b, c4 would have been better. Wow. No. Rook e8 only move, otherwise, yes, we simply don't have moves, much moves. Rook e5, b takes c, and now b5. And yes, rook c2, rook a2. And now he didn't Bronstein didn't see or didn't play this, didn't like this rook b2, b6, rook b5. Yeah, just rook b2. And yes, king c4, rook c2, king c5, rook, yes, rook a2. Yes, but it was very hard to, because he went this and bishop c3, and this b6. Yes, not easy to see this rook b2 and then rook c2, rook a2, and here Bronstein resigned. Very good game, yes, very good game by Tal. Of course, always black could play a5, and black didn't have any problems, but they didn't push the pawn, and white already stopped with bishop a5. Yes, another game against Gufeld, Edward Gufeld, and we see Dragon and g3, 92. Yeah, the rook d8, a6, rook e8, bishop d7, 95. Yes, queen c8. Now b5 or queen c8, queen b6, c3. Queen e2, rook d1, and now bishop g4, f3, bishop d7. Yes, black doesn't have problems. And here rook a4 takes, bishop takes a4. And blunder by Edward Gufeld. a4, knight b3, and this knight b3. And knight takes a5. Yes, lost position. Yes. Yeah, simply Tal didn't play very well, and black had a very healthy position, and here in this position, even after rook c4, bishop e3, just rook takes a4, and game goes on. What about knight c6 kind of ideas? You just go queen b3. Again, maybe not very easy to see all this. Yes, no doubts, it's not easy. Yes, but even I'm saying about this, like bishop g4, f3, and going bishop d7. Whenever you push, as bishop g4 is coming. Let's say if you play this, I guess I have knight c4. Okay, at some point, Gufel didn't play well. Next game we are having against, this one is very famous. Petrosian played very badly. And knight c6, d5, knight b8, so rook e1, takes bishop f4, knight d4, knight c6, he went there, c5, takes, and yes, knight c6, here you take on d8, you take bishop c7, so knight e4, very bad move, and now if bishop takes b2, what's the idea? You go rook a d1, you are threatening c3, and you are threatening knight c5. So now knight doesn't, knight cannot really move because bishop on d7 is hanging, and you cannot move your bishop because queen is hanging. And this with the attempt to move the bishop and then develop the knight, but already bishop c4, bishop e8, protecting f7 and knight g5. Yes, takes, king h8 would have been better, but takes, and queen f4 with the idea is queen h4, knight d7, queen h4, knight f6, but rook d7, and here Queen h4, maybe idea was to move the rook, that's why bishop f7. And yes, takes king h8, queen g6, bishop f5, knight f7, knight h6, knight takes f5. Yes, next game, Tal is having black pieces against Vitaly Tsershkovsky. Um, we see knight or bishop e2, e5, and here usually short castle is the main move at bishop e6, f4, queen c7, a4, knight bd7, with the idea is always f5, bishop c4. Why not f5, bishop c4? Yes, it is possible. Bishop e3, short castle, king h1. Yes, it takes f4 or rook c8, this, 5, bishop c4. Engine doesn't like bishop c4 with pawn on f4 because of g4. Queen c6, queen d3. Knight a5 was possible. Or rook a8, queen d3, knight a4. Just trading the knights and trading the knight on c3 and attacking pawn on e4. And this h6, a5. Rook a7, rook a3. Yes, now d5 is a threat. Bishop c1, this king f3. Yes, so far white doesn't have any problems. Knight d5, knight d2. Yes, I guess Tsershkovsky blundered some mating ideas. Yes, for example, here you can go with this, attacking the pawn. Yes, now engine says bishop c3, takes rook b5, rook b3. But didn't like, he didn't want to remain pawn down. That's why he went bishop d8 and blundered this h5. So now bishop is not coming to e1 and the rook f2 is a checkmate, and only move, as you can see, rook e3, bishop e3. So g4, h4, and yes, after g4 he simply resigned. Yes, we can say that Tsershkovsky played quite well, and it was a fighting game, and only close to the end Tsershkovsky went bishop d8, just he wanted to get a very easy draw without chert after trading the bishops and losing pawn on b file. Yes, he really wanted to get that position, but he blundered that h5 comes and bishop is not coming back to e1. Yes, but of course Tal always was having good position. I mean, it was a fight. Oh, again we see Tal lost with the white pieces against Becker. Michael Becker. Yes, nowadays c4 is also popular. Queen a5, short castle, should be 3. At h3, rook e1, f4, knight f3, knight d4, bishop d4, bishop c6. So this e5. White is already much better. Knight d4 would have been better. Queen d6, just rook d8. Knight d6 on bishop c3. What is this? Just avoiding this knight c4 maybe. Still lost. Completely lost. No, he was simply outplayed and yes, 95 he went wrong. After 94 white is having much better position, 95 e6 and starting from here something went wrong for Tal. Yes, once again we see that maybe this was a blitz game. Again, let's go to see do we have it was a simul game. Okay, please. But for example, I don't think he maybe this one also. Oh, this is Hastings. Maybe let's see what do we know about this chess player. Duncan Suttles. Oh, I apologize, I didn't know. Duncan Suttles, Canadian chess player, a grandmaster. Oh, many achievements. Oh, I didn't know him. What about this one? We don't have information. This was for sure. Let's go back to Petrosian. We have about Taimanov. Moscow. I think uh, championship of Soviet Union. Yes. Once again, thank you very much, dear friends, for being with me, for watching this video. Not much games left. I will check them all. At least I myself am enjoying and hope you also like them or at least you learn something new for you. Please let me know what else would you like to see more. And once again, thank you very much. Bye bye.